So the other day I was having a conversation with someone on Twitter, and I had just posted a video that I had actually posted to YouTube about everything that I learned about giving up alcohol for a full year. And after watching it, the dude came back to me with an accusation.
You talking to me?
You see, in that video, I had stated that alcohol had been a part of my life since I was 18. And in the video, I also stated that I was at the ripe old age of 44 when I decided to stop drinking it, which caused him to say,
"Dude, you're like 34, okay? Not 44. Stop lying."
And I couldn't help but chuckle and also feel a little good about myself. And this usually happens when I used to go to the liquor store and used to try to buy alcohol when I was like in my 30s and 40s, and they would card me. It would always make me feel good. It would always make me feel great about myself. Now, I'm not saying this to flex on you, but I do take pride in how I look. And really, who the fuck doesn't?
Hey, who's that handsome guy?
But something I'm learning is that regardless of how old you are, how young you look actually matters for your health. So a 45-year-old study was done that found that the age of your face reflects your biological age. Now in this picture that you see right here, you see two people that are 45 years of age, but they are much older biologically. And it's due to a couple of things that we're going to talk about in this video. Now, in that study, they found that people who aged faster had decreased cognitive function, they had increased risk for obesity, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, they had decreased motor skills. Essentially, they were acting much older for their age than they actually were. Now, when it comes to aging, you have to understand that there are two things at play. So one is your chronological age, it's essentially how old you are, and then you have your biological age, which is how old you look and how old you feel. Now, some people are 50 years old and they don't look a day over 35, and there's some people who are 35 who look like they're kind of pushing 50. So what gives? And that leads me to today's video. I'm going to show you a couple of things that speed up the rate of aging, and I'm also going to give you a game plan so you can start looking younger and also feeling younger, and if possible, reverse the effects of aging. So if you're ready for that, let's go. And hey, what's up? If you're new to this channel, my name is Dan Go. I help high achieving entrepreneurs and busy professionals get lean, boost energy, and live longer without having to spend hours in the gym or really just doing things that are outside of their lifestyle. If you are down for being in the best shape of your life and you're one of the busy people that I actually work with, then subscribe to the channel. With that being said, onwards and upwards, let's do this. So the first step in reversing your age and looking younger is going to be your thoughts and your perceptions towards how you age in the first place. As C.S. Lewis once said, we are what we believe we are. And researchers in the study found out that if you have negative perceptions about how you age, it's most likely going to be linked to an increase in biological age. So what the heck does this mean? So if you say things to yourself like,
"Oh, I'm too old for this," or "I have old man knees," or, "Life starts slowing down after the age of 40.
These things become a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you have to realize, and this is just a law of life, is that the fact that what you say and think to yourself on a regular basis causes your mind to live up to your beliefs. This is a huge reason why on social media I regularly post things like, you can feel better at 40 than you did in your 20s if you do the right things. And the reason I post things like this is because, number one, I truly believe them. I'm living it out right now. And also, your thoughts eventually become your reality. The biggest barrier to slowing down the aging process is how you think about it in the first place. So what type of things do you say to yourself when it comes to aging? Do you say to yourself that my metabolism has slowed down? Do you say things to yourself like,
I'm too old for this shit?
And the biggest question to ask yourself is, do your thoughts and beliefs about your age serve you? And if the answer is no, then it is time to change them. Now, one exercise that I've used to change my beliefs is to bring awareness around them in the first place. So one of the things that you want to do is take out a big sheet of paper and write down every single belief that you have that doesn't serve you. Now, after that, what you want to do is you want to write out a corresponding belief that is one that will actually serve you in the long term. And to top it all off, you want to look for evidence of people who are living out this belief. And one thing you have to understand is that it's not about how intelligent you are. Actually, I do feel that sometimes like the more dumber or stupider you are, stupider, that's not even a word, but anyways, I find that the more you become delusional about your own self-belief, the more that it eventually comes true. And all you need is just evidence of people that are living out that belief right now. And there's tons of people out there. So step number 2 to reversing your age and looking younger and feeling younger are going to be obviously your habits. As Gretchen Rubin says, habits are the invisible architecture of our daily lives. We repeat about 40% of our behavior almost daily, so our habits shape our existence and our future. If we can change our habits, then we change our lives. In Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, there's this woman named Lisa Allen who struggled with an addiction to smoking and obesity. In her quest to improve herself, she joined Alcoholics Anonymous, where she learned about habit loops, which were the cue, the routine, and the reward that she was getting from doing these habits that were shaping her behavior. So what she started to do was she started identifying the cues that triggered her smoking habit, which were stress and social situations. Instead of succumbing to the craving, she chose to replace the routine of smoking with healthier alternatives like going for a walk or chewing gum. And the reward that she felt was a sense of relief and relaxation over time. She eventually replaced smoking with healthier routines. But it didn't stop there. As she gained more confidence in her ability to change, she started tackling her other issues, which were overeating and obesity. So she started adopting better eating habits, started exercising, and got to a healthy weight using the same formula that we expressed just earlier. And this leads me to something that I read in Stephen Bartlett's book, which is you cannot fight a bad habit. You don't want to. So if I say something to you like, stop smoking, it's not like you're gonna magically stop smoking if that is something that you've been doing on a regular basis. What you want to do is, number one, you want to attune your mind. See, we're actually coming upon the theme here, but you want to attune your mind towards the thing that you actually want. So if you say to yourself, stop smoking, guess what? Your mind just thinks about the word smoking and it will naturally attune to wanting to smoke, as opposed to saying something like, go for a walk. Your mind knows the directive. It has nothing to do with smoking, and essentially it's just going towards the thing that you actually want. And when it comes to habits, one thing I like to really play with myself is to ask myself this question, which is like, hey, would 10-year-old future me like what I'm about to do right now? How do we feel about this? Now, what you can do is you can actually take yourself through these same exercises that Lisa did. Ask yourself about just one habit. You don't want to go past a habit. You don't want to go to 1 to 2 to 3. You actually want to focus on one. What is one habit that is currently holding you back from being the healthiest version of yourself? And then write it out. Write out the cue. What happens when you do this habit? So if it's nighttime eating, what happens at night that causes you to start eating at night? What is the cue? Write that down. What is the routine? You eat food at night. Usually it's yummy food. Usually it's processed sugars, whatever it is. And then what is the reward that you're getting out of it? The reward that you're getting is like this short-term numbing of not having to really think about the thing that is causing the stress or whatever it is in the first place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that same system and then create a healthier loop for yourself when it comes to that very habit. Now, here are a couple of habits that I've seen clients work on that have tremendously helped them. So number one is going from a 12-hour eating window to an 8-hour eating window. I just find that when you have a shorter time period, there's also like the sweet spot in terms of like your eating window. When you find the right eating window for yourself, it really opens up a lot of possibilities and it gets you away from overeating in the first place. Another one is drinking a protein shake in the morning. I find that when I get clients to do this, they actually have less appetite at night and also later on in the day as a result of drinking protein and breaking their fast super early in the morning. Another one is just tracking your nutrition using an app. This has given people a lot of awareness around why they eat, when they eat, and also what types of foods they eat during that time. So again, a lot of times awareness is one of the biggest steps to change. Now, the great thing about habits is that you can change them at any time and at any age. All you need to do is really start focusing on one, and then eventually, like Lisa did, you're going to find momentum to really work on the other things that you need to work on. Now, the final step, it's a loaded step, so to speak. It's actually being at a healthy body composition. Now, when I say healthy body composition, I mean that we're specifically talking about your body fat to muscle ratio. You want to be at a body fat level that is healthy for your age, and also have the subsequent muscle and strength to support a great life. So think about it this way, your body fat levels are going to be a determiner in how long you live and also how fast you age, and your muscle and strength is going to determine the quality of that life. And I also have this thing about lifting as well, where it's anecdotal, but I find that people who lift, who don't do PEDs and don't like put weird drugs in their bodies, they tend to just age a little bit slower than people who don't lift. This is not necessarily the case with cardio. When people do excessive amounts of cardio or even excessive amounts of strength training, they tend to age their bodies by doing too much. So take that for what you will. It's anecdotal, and take it with a huge baseball grain size of salt. All right, now getting back to body composition, let's go through this in 3 stages. We're going to start with muscle, then we're going to go with your nutrition, and then we're going to go with your sleep. So number 1 is going to be muscle. So the study actually found that people who had accelerated biological ages were a result, or actually were correlated with a loss of strength. And this is what happens when you just don't maintain your body. So as you see from this graph over here, as we age, we actually lose strength and muscle at a rate of 3 to 5% per decade, and this rate accelerates after the ages of 60. But the good news is that we can rebuild muscle and strength at any age. The key here is that you want to lift weights using good form, using progressive overload, and do this at least like 3 to 4 times per week. Weightlifting becomes critical as you age, and it is a reason why we place a massive emphasis on it with the clients that we work with, and also in the workouts that we prescribe in the Lean Body 90. Also, as you age, you want to make sure that you're testing your strength every 6 months. This is going to ensure that you're setting yourself up for an amazing health span as you age. And down in the description below, I'm going to leave a link to the 5 longevity tests that you could take. It's an article that I wrote a while ago. These are 5 longevity tests that you want to test yourself against on a regular basis to see whether or not you are setting yourself up for a quality health span. So next, let's talk about nutrition. So from my experience, eating a nutrient-dense, high-protein diet is the key to aging gracefully. And you have to understand that the foods that you eat can alter gene expression as well as dictate your cognitive function. As you age, I find this at 44, it's becoming true that as you age, your diet has to get more tighter, your diet has to get better. You just can't eat like you did when you were 20 years old. So you want to be eating a diet that's rich in nutrients and eating foods that contain antioxidants, as uncontrolled oxidative stress can accelerate your pace of aging. These are the types of things that you want your diet to be comprised of. So number 1 is going to be colorful vegetables and fruits. These are packed with antioxidants and combat inflammation. Healthy fats, omega-3 fatty acids that are found in avocados or fatty fish like salmon. These have anti-inflammatory properties and support brain health. Protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass and also just basic hormonal health. Aim for about 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And fiber. Fiber to me is one of the best ways to improve your gut health and also regulate your blood sugar levels. Now, this may be also a little bit controversial to say, but I found that people who stay in a long-term caloric deficit, they age better than those who don't. And I think it's just common sense. When you're under a long-term caloric deficit, you are going through the process of what we call autophagy. And again, I'm going to throw this out there that there is some research around this that prove it to be true, but it's still early and this is just anecdotal. And again, it's not enough for me to make a bold claim. I'm just telling you what I correlate or what I've seen in my own practice. And finally, let's talk about sleep. So I look at sleep as a way to help your body replenish and recover. So think of sleep as the role of a housekeeper. When you sleep, it cleans and removes toxins from your brain and body that really build up as you're awake. I'm just like beating a dead horse right now. I'm just saying like, hey, everyone knows that sleep is important, but for brevity's sake, I'm just going to keep it short. So if you want to improve your sleep, you can click up top for this video and you can understand exactly how to make that happen. That being said, those are the big pillars, but here are also some effective ways to slow down your pace of aging. So number 1 is going to be infrared saunas. So saunas stimulate this thing called heat shock proteins that repair damaged proteins and improve cellular health. They've also been shown to increase and enhance your cardiovascular function, reduce inflammation, and also support detoxification. The other one is sunscreen and moisturizer. So one of the best things I ever learned from this ex-girlfriend of mine was to moisturize my body, to moisturize my face. You have to understand that the skin is the largest organ on your body and we need to take care of it. So sunscreen helps protect your skin from harmful ultraviolet rays. periods, which can also cause a range of age-related skin issues. And moisturized skin helps you retain your natural moisture barrier. It helps you achieve a youthful complexion. Now, does this relate to making you healthier? Possibly. Does it make you look better? Absolutely. The other one I would say is regular genetic testing. So doing certain tests to gain insights in your predispositions related to aging and health. You may find some genetic variants that may influence how you respond to certain nutrients and exercise. And the last one is going to be regular health monitoring. It's important to do regular blood work at least every 4 to 6 months. And blood tests can provide valuable insights into biomarkers associated with aging, like cholesterol levels, insulin sensitivity, and also inflammation markers. So if you are over the age of 35, if you are over the age of 40, like I am right now, you want to get regular blood work done just to make sure that you are catching anything before they happen. All right, now one thing you have to understand is that getting older is a fact. Like, you can't jump into a time machine and wish that you were 20 again. But aging is something that we may be able to control. And I see this all the time in my own practice. Like, when a client starts taking control of their mind, their habits and behaviors around their health, they inevitably start looking and feeling younger. And the key is to focus on what you can control. Now, you can't control the year on your birth certificate, but you can control how you live out those years and also your perceptions about them. And the really cool thing that we're understanding is that we can delay, if not reverse, the effects of aging when we have the right mindset and we do the right things. So you don't need to overhaul anything either. You start with the easiest thing that you saw in this video, and then you take the first step. And then you do that enough times and you might be surprised with what you see in the mirror. You might be surprised with how you're feeling. That being said, if you want to improve your longevity, okay, one of the things that you want to do is you want to focus on having a high VO2 max. So having a higher VO2 max is correlated with living a longer life. And the cool thing is I did a video based on how to improve your VO2 max so you can look and feel and live longer. And all you have to do is just go to the video and click on that one. And then that's about it.